Hello and welcome to another Game Nexus video. Today we're going to be taking a look at actually this Microsoft Xbox, which is my current modded Xbox that is a 1.6 revision Xbox in a Halo Green shell. This is a soft modded system, but it only runs a 750 gig IDE hard drive, which if you're someone like me and you have over 300 plus, well, growing every day, original Xbox games, that doesn't quite cut it. And what I was previously doing is my Xbox 360 has a 2 terabyte drive in it, and I would store digital backups of both consoles on the one drive. But at this point, the drive on the Xbox 360 is actually starting to fill up. So what I will do here, if you see what we have on the table here, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. We will install this 2 terabyte drive into the original Xbox, along with the 2.5 inch to 3 inch bracket that I 3D printed here. So the hard drive is going to just kind of like bolt in there, and then it's going to go into the hard drive caddy for the Xbox like that, and that'll all be facilitated by this guy here, which is a StarTech IDE to SATA converter. And of course, if I need to change it over, which I did when I did it on a friend's Xbox, I have various 80-pin IDE cables that I will end up using for that. But the first step I really have to do here is on the Xbox itself. Right now it's currently running, I forget what version of XBMC this is, but it's one of the older versions. And what I want to do is end up running XBMC for gamers and have a, how do I want to say it, have a like a cover flow interface, which I kind of have that going on here, because if you see here, it'll do a bit of a scan on the current 750 gig hard drive. But we got a bit of a cover flow interface here. But as I said, the unfortunate part is you'll notice on the screen there are only 223 games that are installed on here. And we're more or less running out of space. And I would like to have like an original Xbox where I could have every game that I own installed and like runnable on here. And yes, there are like the original version of Dead or Alive 3, the Japanese, the European, and then there is a demo, and that's why there's so many of those. But the basic gist here is I'd like to have an original Xbox where I could run every game that I own on here and still have room to spare. And that will most certainly be helped by the 2 terabyte drive that I have here. So the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to, since this system is soft modded, I will need to get the hard drive key, get all the files, partition the new hard drive, which is this Western Digital Blue that I have here, with the proper Xbox partitioning, and then, how do you say it? And then put the proper soft mod files on there so it'll boot just like this Xbox does right now, because that's how I ended up doing this particular Xbox's hard drive, is I just basically put all the particular files where they need to be, partition the Xbox, lock the drive with the proper lock code so the system will unlock it thinking it's the original, and you know, everything's fine. Bob's your uncle and it works. So I'm going to get to getting all the files off. And if you don't know how to do that, all you have to do is FTP to the system if you have a modded system, and then drag the files at least off the C drive. I'll usually grab the C and the E drive because that contains all of your save data and all of your system data. And then, of course, repartition the new hard drive and put all the files in the appropriate places. So I'm going to pretty much go ahead and get that part done. I might have a brief segment before I'm taking apart the Xbox that shows you, hey, this is how we did this, and this is what we're doing here. So, yeah, I'm going to get on that, and then when you see me again, I'll have the hard drive all set up, and we will be getting all of the files onto the, we'll be doing the hardware part of things. Yeah, it's funny that Tony Hawk's Underground is actually here, but if you see the other one, it's actually just here as a controller, and it just says Thug 2. But, yeah, we're going to be taking, basically, this is kind of a good setup I have going on here, but XBMC for Gamers with every game and space to spare will be even better. And then when I go one step further, I will, how do you say it? I'll have a lot more set up on here, and it'll be all ready to go, and it won't be as clunky as it is really right now. But so I'm gonna go do that. I'll probably have one or two other little clips here that'll tell you a bit more about what I'm doing with the file structure, but let's get off of that and we will get onto the computer. And as I said, I might have a segment where I tell you what I'm doing with the files, but until then, we will be back. Okay, and as you can see right now, I have my Flash FXP up here. One side over here is in the actual Xbox, and the other side is on the computer, so I just go into the C drive here. This is the files off of the Xbox. Take all of these, make copies of them onto the computer, and then I'll do the same thing with the E drive, and then I will be back and I will format the new hard drive in Xbox format and put these files back on, and then when it's time to actually run the Xbox, it will basically run the new drive just like it were the old drive, and then we can put all the games and everything back on it like it were the old one, and we'll have a lot more space. Well, this is going to take some considerable time for, like, the E drive, I believe, is going to take the longest time, but the C drive was pretty quick there since it's legitimately just the system partition. But I'm going to do this, and then we're going to get back to, I'll get back to you once I'm doing the part where I'm formatting the hard drive. So once this is all done, I'll be right back. Okay, so at this point, I have taken the new hard drive, which, as you can see here, I attached to the little board from an external hard drive and a USB cable, and put the files needed for an Xbox onto this drive. So basically what we got to do now is I'm going to turn over this Xbox, take it apart, and replace the hard drive that's in there with this one, and pretty much see if it boots, because it's kind of one of those things. I honestly haven't replaced the hard drive in an Xbox in a while, and if you've ever done a soft mod, they can be a little bit problematic and not always work too well. I think I need a bigger bit than that. Let's see, this was, what is this one? This one is, I don't see the actual marking on it. Probably not a Torx, that's probably why. T15, I think they're T20s on the case, so it's probably this one. Yep, that's the T20, let's try that. But yeah, this Xbox has stayed closed for a good while now, and as I had said, I wanted to expand this Xbox and put all of the games on it instead of just, you know, some, because unfortunately when you have 300 plus games for a certain console, a 750 gig hard drive might seem big, but it is not really all that big in the grand scheme of things. And of course the plan here is once this hard drive is no longer being used for the Xbox, I will unlock it and then reformat it and use it on the PlayStation 2 with like free McBoot and the hard drive loader there. So we'll have the PlayStation 2 hooked up to our TV, and I'll be able to put a lot of PlayStation 2 games on that. And of course, only one of the actual legs here is, I mean, one of the actual pads is still on here. So let's see if I can get into this. The other ones must have peeled off a while ago, probably various times I was moving this thing. But it's no big deal. But as I was saying, I think I only have like a 140 gig hard drive or something like that in the PS2, so 750 will most certainly be quite the upgrade. But let's see here. And then we just have to flip it over, pull off the top here, and see what we're dealing with. Yep, there's the Apple 750 gig hard drive, and I think I already have this one fitted with the proper IDE cable that'll make this work. But basically what I'm going to do at this point is kind of take my enclosure here. I'm not going to put any screws in yet, as I just want to more or less hook everything up to make sure it works. And then eventually I will put it all back together and start going nuts transferring 300 plus games onto this. So here is the adapter. This will basically allow us to plug our IDE cable into this SATA hard drive. So that just kind of goes like this. You take your hard drive here, you plug it in like that. And the cool part is this bracket that I 3D printed actually was made for this exact purpose, for using the SATA hard drive like this on the Xbox, because as we all know, it was kind of made for, yeah, so that's going to go like this, because I can see the screw here, and then this kind of sits like that. So all we have to do here is just take out the IDE power connector, take out the IDE connection here, plug it all in, and, you know, good old-fashioned hope everything works. And, you know, it's one of those things. Legitimately, if it doesn't work, I'll just fix it. No problems there. These connectors on the Xboxes are a little hard to get off, but I'm going to go ahead and hook this up, connect that to the Xbox, connect it to the TV, and then I'll be back with you and we'll see if the Xbox boots up. If not, then of course off screen I'll just figure out why it's not working and fix it from there. But I'm going to go ahead and do that, and when you see me again, we'll have this thing hooked up again and we'll see if it works. So, be right back. Okay, and as you can see, now we have the cables ever so slightly connected here. We're going to see if this actually works. So let me go ahead and turn on the Xbox, and we'll see what happens. Okay, let me just plug in my video source, because I forgot to plug the USB cable in for that, because that's going to let it display. But it looks like the Xbox is actually fragging here, so it probably will have a message saying something to the extent of cannot unlock hard drive or something. So okay, I'm going to go ahead and troubleshoot this. Okay, now you can see I have the original hard drive connected, and I have the SATA hard drive connected with a Y connector. Basically, what you have to do here is you have to let the Xbox sit for like a minute or two, because what you're basically going to do is take the IDE connector for the DVD drive, connect it to the connector on the new hard drive, and then on your Xbox up here, you'll go into Chimp and clone the original drive. I know originally I was going to like back up the contents from the C and E partitions and then just do it on the computer, but no matter what I did, that wouldn't work. So I figured this is probably the best way to do it. So once I get into Chimp, I'll be back here and I'll show you what it does on the TV so you can see what it looks like when the hard drive is being cloned. So I'll be back in just a couple minutes when we're actually in the hard drive cloning process. So just be a moment here. Oh, okay, now it's been a few minutes and the Xbox didn't complain when I pulled the cable off the DVD drive, so hopefully this will work. We'll just go into our programs, apps. There it is, Chimp Loader. And we'll see if it works. I had loaded this before. Please connect slave hard drive and press A. Okay, now it's going to boot Chimp. I think this is some kind of like weird Linux thing, so it's going to do all kinds of the crazy Linux stuff. So hopefully, no controller found. Disabling the bloody cursor. Whoever made this must be English. Starting network, populating RAM disk. Press enter to activate the console. Oh, there we go. So we're going to do soft modded Xbox. You pick soft modded option. Yes. Do you agree? Yes. And we're going to do scan physical IDE devices, and hopefully it'll... Oh, good. Because our primary is the ST37 one there. That's my old hard drive, and you'll see lock security level high. And then our new one is the Western Digital Blue drive, which is a 2 terabyte. So we're going to hit OK. It's so weird to see this because this is like an old computer thing like you would have in Windows 98. And we're going to go clone master to slave. And we'll do selective. I actually watched a video. I'll put a note in the video description linking the video I used for this. And let's see. So what partitions would you like? We're gonna do 4 because I believe there are a F and G partition in my old hard drive. So I'm gonna do that. And I think I'm just going to do the option that says F and G split space equally because, Actually, let's try what that guy did in his video and do F occupies all available space, because why have multiple partitions? Confirm format, yes. And this is probably going to take a long time to, well, once it's done formatting, it's going to have to copy everything from the old hard drive. Yeah, you'll see. Copying like the smaller partitions will take not long because you'll see like C partition is nothing. E partition I think is like 4 gigabytes if I'm not wrong. And then of course the F partition, since I think I have 200 and some games, if you saw in the very beginning there of this video, that will probably take like maybe over an hour. I'll put a little thing in the bottom of the video because I'll probably cut it as soon as it starts doing the E partition, because you know the C partition on an Xbox's hard drive is like a few hundred megs, and the E partition is obviously a lot more because it's basically, think of it this way: if you've never had an original Xbox before, the E partition is what all of the stuff would be on, and there wouldn't be like there wouldn't be an F partition, because basically C is your system partition with your dashboard and all the stuff that would normally be on the operating system and all the operating files. E would be the partition where the Xbox would save the save games, the custom soundtracks, and anything else like the game would save to the system. And then from there were only 3 more partitions which were basically invisible to you, which are X, Y, and Z, which are all the cache partitions that the system uses when it's saving like data. Like, I don't know if you've ever played a game where you hear the hard drive is kind of like really crunching a lot, but that's because basically what's happening is your system is saving some of the data from the game onto the drive, and therefore it's making load times faster. And the only other quote-unquote drive would be the D drive, which of course is the DVD drive, which in this case we don't have that hooked up because it's being used. But at this point we are like a third through our E partition. But at this point I'm going to cut the video, and when I come back all of this will have been cloned, and we will connect to the new drive for the first time and see if it works. And maybe I'll throw a little thing up on the screen, or I will make mention of how long this actually took, because as you can see, as I had mentioned before, the E partition is only like 4 gigs, and that's taking like at least 5 minutes. So my guess would be, since the old hard drive is 750 gigs and it was mostly full, it's going to take at least a couple hours to finish the cloning process here. And then what we're going to do when it's done, and I'll get back to you at that point probably when the cloning process is done, is we're going to lock the new hard drive and then try to boot from it. And then at that point, what I will do is, if the system works with the new hard drive, we will not only unlock the old hard drive so then I can use it in a PlayStation 2 HDD loader, because it's an IDE hard drive and it's 750 gigs, and that's a lot of PlayStation 2 games. Then we will also lock the new hard drive so it can then be used in this system, because this is a soft modded system. But I blabbed on enough at this point, and I'll get back to you once this cloning is completed, and I'll show you those last steps I'm going to complete. Of course, I'm going to lock this hard drive and then not do anything to that one until I make sure this one works, because you don't want to burn your boat until you find out that you're in the new world and you don't have to go back anymore. But yeah, let's go ahead and cut the video now, since I've been talking for about 7 minutes while this has been going on. And as I said, we have an F partition that's probably going to take a good couple hours to clone. But I'll get back to you once we're doing that, and go from there.